Hello, welcome. My name is Ryan Caldwell. I'll be your instructor for CSIS 1190 Excel for Business. This is a course overview for the summer term of 2026, and the course will be held at 3:30 to 6:20. I have an office hour in 4313. The classes vary, depends on which class you're in. I have 3 sections of this course this term, and I would like to make it available to students. If you were unable to make one lecture, you're more than welcome to sit in on another lecture. But when it comes to the midterm and the final, you need to go to your scheduled section to do that. All right, so the course that I teach is very practical, hands-on. I use a lot of business cases that are more personally you can relate to. Like, for example, the very first one I do is on how to build a personal budget using Excel. So I do a lot of these, and my second one is like how to quantify how to do an analysis on how to purchase a home using Excel. So what I do is I teach Excel concepts from each chapter, but I apply a business case that makes it hopefully a little more interesting for each student. My end goal is to get the students to quite an advanced level where they can be extremely efficient in a work environment. In addition to that, this semester I will be offering a free Microsoft Office certification industry exam, and I'll be explaining a lot of that during the course. In the course outline, this is the course video right here that you're watching. A student survey. If you guys click on this and open it up, you can access some of the questions. It's a little bit off the page here, but this is basically, I want to find out, do some demographics on the students that I have. And I use the data in the course. We visualize the data and we use that in Excel. Here's the schedules that I'll be teaching. It is face-to-face. Even though I have a lot of this on YouTube, it is required to come to class and to participate in the lectures. This course is very practical, so trying to do it at home can be done, but I do find coming to class and learning, a different way maybe will expose you, get a deeper knowledge. So I definitely recommend you come to class. In fact, it's pretty much mandatory. So if you're interested in knowing a little more about myself, this is my LinkedIn profile. And if you have a full LinkedIn profile, I welcome you to join in. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, I would highly recommend you get one. And we will be using some features of LinkedIn in this course in the way of micro credentials for badging and for just learning and building your resume, I guess, is to help for employment skills. There's my email address. If you want, you can come and see me before class. I'm always in my office before class. You can talk to me a little bit before class because I come in a little bit early to try to set up, and even after class. But emailing is always a good way to do it, especially if you want a record of that. This course really requires you to have a personal computer, a PC, and a Windows operating system. If you have a Mac, it can be done, but Mac is not the same as a PC, and the Excels are quite different. The systems have a lot of differences as well. We teach with PCs because 95% of jobs use PCs. So we want to train you on the tool that you'll be using. That's why we do it. There are free software. If you don't have Microsoft Office, you can download it. The college provides that. So I would highly encourage you guys to try that out. The textbook we're using is right here, and it is in the bookstore. I recommend you guys buying this book. It's actually an e-book or e-text plus the My IT system. And it was $106 plus tax, I guess, last term. I think it's similar to that this term. I'm not sure if it has gone up a bit in price or not. Anyways, if you buy it through the bookstore, you pay in Canadian dollars. If you go on the line, you pay in American dollars. So definitely go on to the bookstore and buy it. This is the course, the actual MyIT course ID that we'll be using. This is the course code right here, which is your instructor's last name plus that number. And if you need to how to open and access it, these are the links on how to do that. There is student data files. So if you're interested in looking at any other projects, and this is, let me see if I can, there we go. I'll just move this over, is you can open up any of these links and download the data files. So it definitely, yeah, it's going to be, you'll have access to all the files. Let's put it that way. Some people will be downloading these files, maybe putting on their OneDrive so they'll have access to it at school and at home. This is a good option. The downside is you have to log in each time that you come into class, which isn't that big of a deal. Some students elect to use a USB drive. It's your choice. This is the course code to log into the link, and I will be setting that up today or in class. So I would highly recommend you guys open up the link and try to set that up. All right, setup instructions are right here, and the Pearson tool. So a lot of resources here for students. You do have to set your computer up to the proper time zone change because I think the computer sets to Toronto by default. And if that's the case, scheduling some of your assessments become disconnected. So definitely change your settings in the MyIT lab to the proper Pacific Standard Time. If you need extra help, there is some resources at the college's Learning Center. There's a lot of LinkedIn learning courses. If you're struggling with this course or any of your other courses, there are lots of courses that you can learn more stuff with LinkedIn Learning. So you have a full enterprise version right here, but you do need a LinkedIn account. If you're having any issues with their computers in the college, you can contact the help desk. And if you have password problems, you can just go to a login link right here, or it's, I think it's password.douglascollege.ca. I think I might have the wrong link right there. I think that's .ca if I'm not mistaken. Better change that right now. All right, and then let's just double check to see if that even works. Yeah, I don't think that one will even work. I'll have to, that's .ca, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, you will be given an opportunity to write a industry certification, and this is the link to get an account, and we'll be doing that at the end of the course. If you're wondering why we teach Excel to all the Douglas College business students, this is a good link of why we do that and how important is Excel in business. This is the course schedule, and it's pretty much jam-packed. The first class is really a setup class. We talk about the course outline, what I'm going over right now, talk about the MyIT Lab setup, how to set up your OneDrive, get your files, get everything prepared, get you ready for basically the first class. So we're going to build a folder structure in the OneDrive and upload your files for that one day. It's really the only work that we're going to be doing other than getting your MyIT Lab set up and playing with it a little bit. When we come in next week, we're going to hit the floor running with Excel Chapter 1. We'll be looking at the basic fundamentals, and we'll be looking at a business case, which is a personal budget. This really applies to all departments in CBA. Everybody can benefit by this, but I use this particular business case to explain the basic concepts of workbooks and a worksheet. So that's kind of how my lectures work. So if you come to class, you get to know about how to build a particular like personal budget, or whether it's financing a capital asset, or it's how to build a stock portfolio, or capitalizing assets, like an analysis, inventory, etc. You can read through these. So how I work is the course is built kind of in two parts. The first part is more of an introduction to Excel, which is chapters 1 to 5. We come back, we do a midterm on that, and then we come back and then we start chapters 6, 7. We skip 9, we go skip 8, which is on statistics, which is covered in the statistics course. So I don't want to teach that course because it's not really, it's too advanced for an Excel class. So I've removed that and I've replaced it with how do you use macros, automation, AI as part of Excel. All right, so it's the second part of the class is more of an advanced Excel course. We'll be looking at what-if analysis, advanced functions, multiple worksheets, looking at tools to add in to Excel, some database, using Excel as a database, and also how to automate processes as well. All right, so I hope that gives you a really rough idea about how that's going to work. The middle of the course, we have our midterm exam, and on the last week, we have our final exam. And the week before the final, we have our Microsoft Office certification exam. This is optional. So during that week, I usually allow students to do a review for the final, and or they can do their certification exam. They can choose. All right, moving on to schedule, kind of a little bit deeper in how I conduct my assessments, is that the first week, we're just setting up the course. In the second week, we're doing chapter 1, but the third week, we're starting chapter 2, but I do assess on chapter 1. So basically, each week you come in to class, at the beginning of class, I have these little micro quizzes. They're only like 3 or 4 questions, and they're practical based. So you have to show me what you did. So basically, once you've learned chapter 1, the next week you come back and we assess you on that. And these are just worth 2 marks each. They're not worth a lot. And there's 12 of them. And I do allow you to have like, I take the best marks, the top 10 best marks. So I drop the last 2. So if you missed a quiz, it's not the end of the world. If you did really bad on a quiz, again, it won't impact your grade much. Now, when it comes to assignments, the same idea. Each week, you have to hand in an assignment. I usually make them for Sunday night before midnight, and I try to motivate people to get it done before. Now, if you don't get it done or you're late, you don't have to ask for an extension because you can hand these in late. I just deduct 50% off of the mark. So if you get 100% and it's late, you'd still get a percent on that particular assignment. All right, so that's how the assignments and the quizzes work. The midterm exam, because it's only 5 chapters, it's worth a little bit less, so it's 20%. And then the final exam is a little bit larger and more comprehensive. It's worth 30%. There are a lot of quizzes and assignments in there as well that top it up to make a total of 100%. And I'll go through that in a moment. All right, so the midterm instructions, I'll let you go through and read that, how the exam is actually organized and conducted and how it's structured. This is my office schedule, so if you ever want to come in Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, I have office hours. This is my office, and this is when I'll be in my office. So by all means, pop in, say hi, ask some questions, or you can email me right here. Now, very specifically, the assignments that are due, there are 13 assignments. That's 28% of your grade. And the part reason for that is most of them are worth 2%, but the capstones are worth 3% each. So I'll explain this. It looks a little bit complicated, but I'll go through this in class probably a few times. The term tests, there's 11, which is 22. Because I took out chapter 8. That's right. So I will take out the bottom mark out of this one here. Not 2, but there's one. I take the lowest one off. Let's put it that way. There's only one midterm exam. It's on chapters 1 to 5. One final, chapters 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, and 12, adds up to 100%. This is the Douglas College grading system. You can read it. The academic integrity and plagiarism, I will say that you will be assessed using this MyIT system, and it has pretty advanced AI fraud detection. So if you hand in like another person's assignment, of course, it'll just flag it. You'll get an academic integrity violation and a letter from the dean. So all I would say is, don't share your assignments with your friends. Don't use anybody else's assignments because the system will flag you. It will find you. So don't do that. Late assignments, like I said, you can hand them in anytime you want. It's just a 50% deduction. I don't give extensions because I like to keep people on task and on time. And when you're in the work environment, usually you have deadlines to make. You have to meet those deadlines. But because we're in academia here, we're going to give you a 50% discount if you can't meet a deadline. But in the workplace, that probably would be more devastating because a lot of people might lose their jobs if they don't make deadlines. But anyways, yeah. So time extensions. So I don't grant those. So I hope that makes sense. If you ask, I'll just tell you I don't grant extensions, and you're also asking for special treatment, and I can't give special treatment to any particular student unless there's a real reason. If there was a serious health incident and you were away for a period of time, I would be flexible to do that for sure, but you'd have to support it with a doctor's letter, and we'd have to have really good proof that there was a situation. All right, the rest of these, I'll let you guys read through these, like missed tests and exams. Again, I think I just alluded to that, but you need not a doctor's note, a doctor's letter. So if you're sick and you need to go into the hospital or something, you'll have to ask a request for a letter. That goes to the CBA office, and they verify that it was true. Then we can reschedule. But we need to get a letter from the doctor, not a note, because doctors they'll write notes. You can just buy them online. Can't do those anymore. All right. And the rest of these are kind of like classroom responsibilities and behaviors and timeliness. And if the class is canceled, we'll post it on the Blackboard site. Send out a group notice, hopefully, on Blackboard. I would encourage you to get your email accounts, your personal email accounts you check all the time, and just forward your college account to that so that you're always updated, so you're not out of the loop ever on this. Yeah, so and the same for all these. This is some more links. These are from the faculty, the business faculty, so I'd encourage you to read those. So I hope that's a very quick update on the course outline. So if you have questions, you can ask me in class, or you can send me an email. All right, so I'll see you guys in class.